Sharing good news. There's nothing more fun than telling other people news that you think is good. Like, I got an A on my test. Or, my cousins are visiting me this summer from out of state. Or, we're going on a vacation to California over Christmas. These things are fun to share because they're things that are happening to you. But the best kind of news is news that doesn't affect just you, but also those around you. News like, I won two $50 gift cards for the mall, one for you and one for me. Or, my grandma wants to take you and me to the amusement park tomorrow. Or, my mom said that you and our 3 best friends can spend the night at my house this weekend. Good news is exciting when it involves just you, but it's really exciting when it involves others as well. Hello, and welcome to my ongoing report focusing on the weeks after the death of Jesus. In this segment, we're going to find out what happened to Jesus and his disciples when Jesus left this earth. And along the way, we'll also learn that we play a part in this story as well. In the book of Matthew, chapter 28, starting in verse 16, we find that a lot had happened to the disciples. They had been traveling with Jesus and learning from him for years. But then, one day, Jesus was arrested. He was put on trial, sentenced to death, and then buried in a tomb. The good news, however, is that 3 days later, Jesus rose again, and he showed himself to the disciples to prove he had come back to life, just as he said he would. As we begin this story, the disciples were instructed by Jesus to go to a mountain in Galilee where he would meet them. When they arrived, and true to his word, Jesus met them there. Here the disciples worshiped Jesus, and when they were done, he told them something very important to do. He said,
I have been given all authority in heaven and on earth. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I have given you. And be sure of this, I am with you always, even to the end of the age.
Jesus was giving the disciples a mission. It was now going to be their job to tell the story of Jesus and how he had come to save the world from sin. This mission was designed to spread this good news all over the world. You see, other people needed to know that Jesus died to take the punishment for their sins and that he rose again. People also needed to know that because of Jesus' sacrifice, everyone could be forgiven. Well, when Jesus was done speaking, he did something miraculous. In the book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 9, the Bible tells us that when Jesus was finished speaking, he rose up into the clouds until the disciples could no longer see him. This is what is referred to as the ascension of Jesus. Jesus had completed his task here on earth, and then he went to heaven where he sits right now next to God, his Father. And that's the best news of all. Jesus is alive and he's preparing a place in heaven for those who follow him. But the mission that Jesus gave to his disciples wasn't just a mission for them. It's a mission for us, too. The story of Jesus is good news. In fact, it's the best news ever, and we need to share it with everyone. And that's the mission Jesus gave to all of us. So invite people to church where they can learn about God's love. Tell people at school who Jesus is. And always, always be ready to answer questions if people ask you about Jesus. The bottom line is that you shouldn't keep good news that involves others to yourself, especially if it's the absolutely best good news in the world, the good news of Jesus.